Well, another thing that's good for you and your health is sports. But when athletics goes from the just fun portion to the collegiate level, well, things can get very interesting. So Jim and Olivia Karas are father and daughter. They're a duo who wrote this book about what it takes to raise a D1 athlete. Check it out.
It was a lot. It was hard. It was a full-time job. And we write about that in the book, about how athletics and being a collegiate athlete at a university, being a student and an athlete, have some semblance of a social life, talk to your parents. It's a full-time job. It's a little harder sometimes too, now that I have a full-time job that isn't gymnastics. I think sometimes it's harder too, because you really physically have to be there and mentally. And so it becomes a little bit of a dual full-time 24/7, 365 thing, but the hard work pays off, even though it's a lot of work.
Right.
I can't imagine being that age, trying to figure out college and everything else without losing my mind. So hats off to you. Jim, what lessons did you learn being the parent of an athlete, and what advice would you give others?
The first thing I would say is know what you are getting yourself into. We did not. Olivia trained at a gym, and she was the oldest person and truly the guinea pig with how this whole process of being such a dedicated athlete takes over the whole schedule and life of the family. I mean, really, our lives for many years revolved around gymnastics because it was her love. She was happy. We never pushed her. We are not helicopter parents, either her mother or I. But I think parents really need to know if your child is passionate. And I want to make this clear. If they're passionate about athletics, if it's art, if it's debate, whatever it may be, this book discusses what it's like for your family and the siblings, which are a big part of it, and what you should be prepared for, as we were not. But we made it through.
We did.
We did.
Oh my gosh, that's actually so great that you addressed that. So how did this book come about? What made you decide to do this?
Well, about 6 years ago, I was writing for a magazine here in Chicago, which is our home, and it was called Confessions of a Rio Wannabe, because at that time, Olivia was considering the Olympics, which is called the elite path. And we had so much fun writing it together that we oftentimes talked about doing a project. This is actually my 7th book. So I have had experience with this in the past, unlike of an athlete. And so when Olivia graduated in May of 2019, and didn't have a job yet, because when you're an athlete, specifically a gymnast, your season is in the spring. You train 51 weeks out of the year. There was no time for internships, no time for job interviews. So she needed a little structure. Would you agree?
A lot of structure.
She deals very well with structure. So I really said, honey, let's hunker down and start working on this. And I have to share with you, Emily, it was pure joy. We had so much fun. And the nice part about it, which again is going to sound odd maybe to some of your viewers, I had no idea who my daughter was. I have been working, running 2 businesses, giving a lot of speeches. I've done a lot of television work myself, and she's in the gym. And it's cool. So once she came back to Chicago, we really got a chance to get to know each other. And it was through this book. And it was love.
I adore that. What an incredible, brave thing to mention as a parent, to say that as well. Olivia, what do you hope other athletes do now? I mean, do you hope that people are more open about what they're going through?
Yeah, I would say in the light of having a voice on social media, having the ability to share your thoughts and your beliefs in a wide place and space, is speak up about it and talk about it. You know, I was always really vocal with my parents. Both my mom and my dad I have a very good relationship with.
Except some injuries she neglected to share with us.
Oh.
I wanted to keep competing, but just be vocal and talk about it. And I'm proud of what I wrote. I'm proud of how we got to share experiences that we might not have ever shared, being the one doing it and the one in the stands supporting and helping through the whole process. I don't think we would have ever known those things.
No. And we also had very different perspectives on some situations. I was like, what? And she was like, what? We didn't really know the whole situation until we sit down, talk to each other.
Compare notes.
And so, that as well, for any parent and child, wow, when you get that type of time together, you can really get to know each other really well and understand what makes you tick. I think that's really important and something we wanted wanted to share in the book that, everyone needs to be managed somewhat differently, each child. No, I always say this, and I always said this to the kids growing up, you don't love your children the same way. They're two different people. You love them equally, but you have to learn how, as a parent, to navigate their emotions and how they're processing and how they're succeeding or not succeeding, if be the case, and help them out.